Now, welcome to another news from Naboo.
Just news, thank you.
Maybe a little Thor's lightning takes as well.
No.
Alright, let's get to the news.
Alright, so the Book of Boba Fett is still dominating online demand weeks after the finale. So the Book of Boba Fett had its last episode on February the 9th, and yet the demand for the viewing of it has stayed at the top of the chart. So the chart you're looking at is the Parrot Analytics. As the information from the end of February, Fett still tops the charts with 39.1 times the amount of audience engagement to the average series. Now, this is only showing brand new series, not existing series, which makes sense. Well, so it's like no season 2s and stuff. It's all brand new shows. HBO's Peacemaker is a close second, despite their streaming audience being substantially smaller than Disney+, so it's nice to see. The charts, like I said, it's up there on the screen so everyone can kind of take a look and see what they see. The Mandalorian did do better when it premiered than Book of Boba Fett's premiere is doing, but it's Book of Boba Fett. I'm honestly surprised it's still doing so well when a lot of reviews online are saying it's not that great of a show. Could it be that those Mandalorian episodes are carrying it? Who knows? Is this showing us the real power of Star Wars, or maybe the power of Disney? I mean, Hawkeye's still on the list, and that series ended in December.
I think it shows the power of the name Star Wars. I think there's so many people who watch Star Wars who don't... I don't want to say they don't like Star Wars or aren't fans of Star Wars, but I have, obviously I know a lot of people in my... Well, not obviously that I know a lot of people, but I do know quite a few people. I was going to say, obviously, they know I'm a big Star Wars fan, so... It's amazing to me the number of people who watch Star Wars that I would probably like. You watch Star Wars, really? You actually do? And so and the weird thing is, when they review it for me because they want me to know what they thought of it because they want to talk about it or have a question, they don't really get into it, which I think is almost a problem in a way because Star Wars. How do I say this? It's become so kind of watered down at times. It's so basic and generic that I think it has trouble engaging with the hardcore fans. Like the Book of Boba Fett really... I'm not saying if you're not the diehard Star Wars fan that you couldn't have loved the series, but it didn't really, offer much beyond, oh, look, it's Cad Bane. Oh, look, it's, an N1 starfighter. Like, the substance of the story, it didn't really dive into this character of Boba Fett that we've, wanted to... see on screen since, Empire Strikes Back, have his story really explored. And I think part of the problem with Star Wars being so popular is that, it does get, played for the masses instead of the fans. And that's, I don't know, you could say that's a bad thing because the fans are a lot of times left with a kind of more generic or watered down show. Not, again, that you can't enjoy it. But then at least you keep the masses and it keeps people coming and it keeps it on the top of the list. So Disney is going to see that and they're going to know, okay, people are watching Star Wars, so let's keep making Star Wars. So it's kind of this weird catch-22, you could almost say, where Star Wars remains popular and relevant and they'll keep making it, but they're going to keep making Star Wars for people who, again, just kind of like the name, they like the idea, they want to think of themselves as fans. And I'm not trying to say a gatekeeper or anything like that. You can be a fan as casual as you want, but I think a lot of times the hardcore fans are just going to be left disappointed because these shows are always going to be this kind of more surface level spectacle, which is something I talk about a lot. That, what do you prefer? Is Star Wars just the spectacle to you? Is it just the lightsaber battles and all these things? Or is it some deeper meaning? And for me, if you watch my videos a lot of times, I try to go into the deeper meanings because that's, I love lightsaber battles, like space fights. I like all these things, but for me, the deeper meaning of Star Wars is something we rarely get portrayed accurately in these shows, I think.
I found the whole thing very interesting. I mean, I was hoping Peacemaker would surpass Book of Boba Fett on the list. I mean, some of these shows I've not heard of.
Some of them I've heard of, but most of them I haven't seen, to be honest. But it is interesting because I thought the Book of Boba Fett would be... I thought it would be something that would initially appeal to fans or the more casual fan because, oh, it's Boba Fett, let's watch Boba Fett. And then they'd start to watch it and be like, what's going on here? It's kind of...
Yeah, I thought it was something that would die down. Instead, it's still holding its own pretty well.
Yeah, and the question is that because, Mando and Luke and Grogu all show up late in the season, so it got this big boo. Everybody heard, oh, they show up, so now I'm gonna keep watching it. And is that why they were put in there? Because they figured... Hell, maybe this just isn't... People are going to watch it because they know the name Boba Fett, and then they're going to get a couple episodes in and be like, this isn't so good, so let's bring in Mando. Look, it's Mando, as you to see.
You just don't say it right.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't know. I'm curious to hear what other fans think about the other more hardcore fans. Because I'm assuming if you're watching us, you're listening to us, you're more of a hardcore fan of Star Wars. You're probably you're not someone who doesn't know the ins and outs really well. So I'm curious. Like how do you? And I know we rip on Disney Star Wars. A lot of people rip on Disney Star Wars, and I certainly critique the heck out of it. But what do you think? Is this a catch-22? Is this just the unfortunate reality of something becoming popular? And maybe I'll do a whole video on this on the other channel, or Let's Talk Some Star Wars or something, because I think it's a fascinating question. Because as a fan base, we are just torn right now between this is good and this is bad. The sequels are good, sequels bad, all these things, and it's. The simple reality is Disney is just making it for the masses. And, is that something we have to accept if you want to be a fan or not? I don't know. I'm rambling. Let's get to the next story.
Boy, did he ramble. All right, so our next news story. Disney Plus is planning on introducing ad-supported subscriptions later this year. So their streaming platform obviously does really well. It has about 130 million subscribers, but that's not enough for Disney. They actually want to be between the 240, 260 million within the next 2 years. That's their ambitious goal. They're going to implement an ad-supported model similar to other platforms. You pay a little bit less, but you get interrupted by 30-second to a minute-long ads. Depending on the length of the episode, it can be 1 segment, 2 segments, 3 segments, as many segments as they want. It's super fun. So that's going to start this year in the U.S., other territories are going to be starting to get that next year. They don't have any real details on the cost or what kind of limitations they're going to have. Any non-subscribers out there, what do you think? Do you think that a cheaper ad-based model would appeal to you? Would that get you to subscribe? Would it keep you farther away? Who knows? Would they need to do a lot more to possibly lure in these people? Do they have, maybe more content?
I think there's a lack of content. I mean, if you don't like old Disney shows, if you don't like, I don't even, if you're not a huge Star Wars fan and Marvel who doesn't maybe own the discs or something, and you like watching it over and over again, then I think Disney Plus is for you. And if you want to keep up with Star Wars and Marvel, I don't know. I don't watch anything else on Disney Plus but Star Wars and Marvel. I don't watch any of their old movies. I don't know what other shows they have. To me, it's just I have Disney Plus because I know that's where all the new. Like I said, Marvel and Star Wars shows. And for me, the ad-based thing and still charging you just feels like double dipping. We're trying to get a couple dollars out of you. We're trying to get a couple dollars out of, the advertisers.
Well, and if it's anything like some of the other streaming services, the ads get so redundant so fast because it's like you'll watch one show and you'll get the same ad 3 times.
Yes. And then if you're watching like a whole series, I can't remember what series we were watching, but it was on one of these where they do have limited ads, or I think we had the free, whatever it was, and it's just, like you said, it is the same commercial over and over and over.
It got to the point where we're muting them.
Yeah, where I mute it, and it's like, I'm never going to buy your product because you just advertised it to me 30 straight times. Like, I'm actively going to avoid what you're trying to sell me. And if you're an advertiser out there, like, do be warned, like, maybe it's just me, but when I get oversaturated with your commercial or your product, like, I'm that kind of guy who's like, yeah, I'm going to try to give someone else a shot, right?
So I definitely feel like they need to add more titles. I mean, this is great for people with kids and for families because...
That kids are going to just tolerate the commercials, yeah.
Well, they're going to tolerate the commercials. For 2, when I was a kid, and I think this happens with a lot of kids, you kind of get stuck on a movie. My family was like the Brave Little Toaster. We watched it like 600 times. We wore out the beta cassette we had it on.
For me, it was Return of the Jedi like 100 times, literally to the tape wouldn't play certain parts. I had to pull it out and I had to spin it forward and put it back in and hope it would start playing again. That's how many times I watched Return of the Jedi.
So, I mean, for people with kids, it's great because you can just sit there and go, okay, well, here you go. Click on your favorite Disney movie or whatnot.
Yeah, it must be nice. For me, it was... I'm not complaining. The world works as it does. Technology advances, but I mean, it's so strange to think that kids nowadays can just pick up a device and tap a screen and they can watch whatever they want. Whereas I am, again, pulling out a tape and hoping I can watch it for the millionth time because the tape is literally falling apart.
Right, and then remember how slow like beta machines
rewinding, yeah. I remember rewinding that because I would just hear the certain part, because you would hear the tape literally rewinding, obviously, and I could just hear certain parts where I'm like, God, is that going to just snap at this point? Because it's just kind of this grinding, scratching noise as it's trying to rewind this tape that's been viewed way too many times. Memories.
Memories indeed. All right, let's move on to our last story then. So, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga DLC character packs have been revealed. We now not just know what the names of them are, we know when they're coming out, and we know what characters are going to be in them. So, pre-orders are going to get a lot of things before everyone else.
As usual, yeah.
Makes sense. So, the first pack is The Mandalorian Season 1. It's going to be April 5th, going to be released with the game.
Cool.
It's going to include Din Djarin. Grogu as a non-playable character. He's going to be a companion character to the Mandalorian. So when you're running around the Mandalorian, Grogu will float along behind you, possibly help you with Force stuff. Who knows?
Yeah,
who knows?
That makes sense.
We'll also have Greef Karga, Cara Dune, IG-11, and Queel.
Cara Dune, you say?
Cara Dune. That actually surprised me a little bit. I mean, I know there's rumors floating around that she's going to be in not this season of Mandalorian, but season 4. This sound really, really rumory, though.
They sound hopeful, like maybe. I don't know. I don't want to get into that topic, but I don't foresee. I mean, for better or worse, whatever you think of Gina Carano and Disney, I don't ever see why. For one, why would she want to come back after the way they went about things, kind of firing her, like that?
Who knows?
And why would Disney want her back? Because it would cause controversy. I don't know. Like I said,
but she'll be in the game.
Yeah, that's cool.
I wonder if she'll be voiced.
I'm just glad they're not trying to pretend the character never existed, no matter how they feel about Gina Carano or whatnot. She's a character in Star Wars, and we always talk about separating characters from actresses or actors. Like, can we do that the other way around when they're unhappy with the actor? A lot of fans get criticized for being critical of an actor. It must mean you're talking about, or being critical of a character, you must be talking about the actor. Well, can we do it the other way around too, and just character is a character.
Okay, back to Lego. So, Star Wars, a Star Wars story is going to be April 5th. It's going to come with young Han Solo, young Chewbacca, young Lando, Kira, Tobias Beckett, and Enfys Nest. Rounds out the top group that I'd expect to see. The Classic Characters pack comes April 5th with pre-orders, April 19th to everybody else. Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Darth Vader, Lando Calrissian. Trooper pack, April 5th with pre-orders, May 4th for wide. It's coming with Death Trooper, Incinerator Trooper, Range Trooper, Imperial Shore Trooper, and Mimban Stormtrooper. Getting a full gambit of troopers. Kind of from a whole bunch of different range shows, I like that. Rogue One, Star Wars story, April 19th for everybody. Jyn Erso, Bodhi Rook, Cassian Andor, K2SO, Chirrut, Baze, and Director Krennic. The Mandalorian Season 2 is also coming May the 4th. Ahsoka Tano from Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, Fennec Shand, and Moff Gideon. And we got the last character pack from the DLC is The Bad Batch, May 4th. Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, Crosshair, Echo. No Omega.
No Omega.
No Omega.
It's not going to be like a side for Hunter?
Oh, that's mean. I mean, these are just the DLC character packs. I mean, I'm sure they're actually going to announce DLC levels coming eventually. Maybe some from those particular shows. We'll see.
I would think so.
I mean, this is just the Skywalker saga, so things like Rogue One are going to be left out. I would like to see them added. Do we have anything else for the news today?
No, I don't.
I know.
You're Naboo.
You're staring at me and nodding, so I
was like,
I thought maybe you had more to add to the news.
Not to my lightning takes on the character packs are non-existent. Not that they're not cool. We will play the heck out of that game, I'm sure, and we'll have all the packs and all that. But
and we do plan on doing a Let's Play for the base levels on the channel. Yeah. No one has to watch us free play. I take forever because I find everything.
You 100% all that.
I 100% this game. I will. No one has to watch that but Thor.
Yep.
So he goes, "What are you doing over there?" I'm like, "I'm just doing this level real quick."
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess that's all we've got for you this time. That's the news from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. So leave a comment below. Tell us what you think about anything and everything we had to say here. And until next time, thanks for watching.